What's up, everyone? We are at season 3, episode 7, which we're calling our 2025 predictions show. Let me just give you a rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go around all the fellas here, and we're going to kind of talk about how many wins do we think the Phils have, where they finish. We're going to do some Phillies end of the season predictions or awards. We're going to do the same thing with the rest of the American and National League, talk about who's going to win or who we think we are, then just do some kind of awards, who we think is going to win Rookie of the Year, Comeback Player, etc. We're going to talk about who should lead off, despite, hopefully Rob's listening, and not this Rob. I hope this Rob's listening too. We're going to do another dumbass today. Mike has some trivia. Rob's going to talk about when he thinks we're going to see the painter Crawford Miller. I'm going to be talking a little bit about bullpen strengths and weaknesses. What happens if and when Weston Wilson's back? So, boys, let's kick off the show. So we are fueled by Hidden Stills spirits. So I have Uncle Badload's favorite here, which is the gin. They are located in Hershey, PA. They will deliver in-state and out-of-state, so make sure you check them out. They're supporters of ours. We're big supporters of theirs. So thanks to Hidden Stills, and Uncle Badload thanks you too, because he's going to enjoy this. The other thing I want to do is I did that T-shirt exchange, so I said I was going to wear one each show. So I'm wearing the Tornado Tavern, and this isn't the Tony Tornado that I met down in Clearwater. That's my buddy from Glenside. But Tornado Tavern in Mount Carmel did a T-shirt exchange. If you're listening and want to do it, just send us a message. We'll send you one of ours. You send us one of yours. You show us ours, we'll show you yours. Remember that game, guys?
Woo!
So before we kind of get into the show and the predictions part, I kind of want to talk about fandom a little bit, because there's so many toxic things I'm seeing out there, specifically on social media. Here's the deal, and here's how I feel. If you want to think the Phillies are great and are the same team and are the first half is going to be what they're going to be this year, do it. That's cool. If you think the Phillies have major deficiencies and they are the 500 team that we saw at the end of last year, cool. That's awesome. You're allowed to do that. If you want to watch all 162 games and you're a diehard, cool. If someone doesn't watch them, that's fine too. You're a Phillies fan. You have the right to say whatever you want. And if you want to not like a certain person or don't have faith in this team, it doesn't make you less of a fan. It doesn't make you more of a fan because, I love this guy. No matter what, I love them. It doesn't matter. So that was just a public service announcement. Like who you like, except, maybe Walker. I don't know. I might have a problem there. But, and to end this here, we were really hard on Alec Boehm, right? This dude went out and hit almost 400 this spring, led the Phillies, didn't say anything, do anything. And I specifically was giving him a hard time. Yet we got this turd Turner who hasn't done nothing. He's hitting under 200. He's getting a bunch of cash. He's the one that we should hammer. Fuck that ovation shit no matter what. That's terrible. But if anyone deserves it, it would be someone give an ovation to the dude that's hitting 370. So, all right, I got that out of the system. Just be a fan of who you want to be. It's fine. And be a fan of ours, and we're not going to give you a hard time about it. Don't give us a hard time either. That's the beauty of it. So, guys, Vegas, whatever the fuck that means, but they're usually pretty good, has them at 90.5 wins. I don't think a baseball team can get half a win, but I don't know why they do that.
I think you should get one just for letting Walker make more than 2 starts. If he gets a third start, it's a half a win. They should just give it to us.
That's fair. I saw this kid that wrote a letter to Walker, and he says, listen, if you pitch 3 games out of your first 9 and end up with an ERA below 4, I'll buy your jersey. He's not going to have to buy the jersey.
That might work out for him.
Yeah, he's not doing it. So, guys, I have him at 93 and 69, which I added up. That is 162 games. They win the East by 2 over the Braves. So that's where I am.
You nailed my number. I had them at 93, and I'm picking them to win the division as well. I think their pitching is better than any team in the division. I still believe in this offense that when it's hot, it can hit with anybody, and when they hit, they can beat anybody. I think it's Phillies, Braves, Mets, in the division in that order.
Yeah, I have them at 90, and I just don't know what to think of this team because it is pretty much the exact same team that we've seen for the last 3 years. Now, regular season, they may win 90, they may win 95, they may even up that for some reason, like that it may go in that trajectory. But come the postseason, the last 2 postseasons we've seen them, they strike out a ton, they flail. Topper makes all these managerial mistakes as if he has no idea what situational baseball is. And so regular season, I'll give them 90 and I'll take that half, you know what I mean, that Vegas gives me. But I don't know that it matters. I really don't know that it matters. I think they can win the division. I don't think they will. I think the Braves will end up winning a few more than them. But I need to get to the postseason at this point. I need to see them get over the hump.
Okay.
So here's my thoughts after reading a bunch of, the experts' opinions. They've really poo-pooed the Phillies. They don't talk about the Phillies. They're just talking about the Braves and the Mets in the East. I think that puts a little chip on the Phillies' shoulder. I got them at 95 wins. I got them winning the division. And I think, to what Rob was saying, I think we saw a little bit of a different approach from some of the hitters this spring. I think they do that, and they do they manufacture a few more runs plus the homers. And I'll tell you why I think that. There was a little riff that went through the clubhouse when DJ Ironpig got sent down to the minors. It was like hey, this isn't all fun and games. We got to go out there and we got to produce. And we're going to take one of your guys and we're going to put him, down in AAA, even though we know Marshawn's going to get hurt at some point and you'll be back. But this is a wake-up call for the rest of the squad, in my opinion. And so that's why I have him there.
So let me throw this out to you guys, because I think it goes back to kind of like fandom, like Chris was talking about. You had that run that the Braves had, back in the 90s and early 2000s, where they went to the playoffs 19 straight years, but only won one World Series. And the Phillies now, they've gone to the playoffs 3 straight years, haven't won a World Series yet. They look like they're poised to be a playoff team again this year. As a fan, would you rather them be that perennial playoff team with a chance to win the World Series every year, or go all in and win it and then fall apart, kind of like the Marlins did twice, where they loaded up and then won and then sucked for 10 years? I like the fact that the Phillies are a good baseball team, and I like the fact that they're a good baseball team for the last 4 years. And I would love to see them continue with that chance to be a World Series team, rather than going all in 1 year to win and that being a bad baseball team for the next 8 years or so. Kind of that trend we saw, 08 to 11, then they sucked, for 10 years. And I like the trajectory that the organization's on. That's, I think this year is a year where they have money still tied up in some guys. They didn't invest a lot in the offseason. They think the team's good enough to be a playoff team again and maybe catch fire and make it to the World Series. The next offseason will be the one that kind of tells us, I think, where they think that this core is, if they are legit World Series contenders. But
Chris, I love the question, but I don't want to have to pick. I want both.
Well, I agree. I agree. I just think I like that they're, we're not going into the season going, are they going to win 70 games?
Yeah.
We're not there anymore. We were there for a long time, praying they won 70 games. you know. So
And you know what? Like, that's so ridiculous that a team and a city like ours ever has something like that. Like, what the hell's going down at the Wells Fargo is a fucking disgrace.
yeah,
Yeah,
But like,
absolutely.
we should be perennial.
yeah,
Like, what?
a major
There's other
sports city.
teams that are, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I would rather have extended periods of being great than those shitty years. It's not going to make me personally watch them less, but I'm not getting younger, and I want a fucking championship.
Oh, I agree. I want to win one, you know, but I don't like those lulls where they're, you know, you have all those years where they're bad and you're praying that they, you know, get to 500, you know, like it's just, you know,
Yeah.
it's not fun. As much as we all love this team and watch every goddamn game,
Yep.
it's not fun, you know.
What do you think makes us more bitter? Losing for years and winning one, or getting close for many years and never getting over the hump?
Oh, I think
As a fan base,
B. I would say it's B. Getting close, and you know, I
I
agree.
tend to agree.
I think it's B. You know, I mean, but I think
You know why it's B, though?
I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that. I'd rather be close every year and not win it than not have a shot. You know.
Yeah.
You know why it's B though? Because we've had, like Michael Bello just said, that early '90s were horrendous. We've had these lulls. We just kind of get used to 70 wins or 68 wins, and you know, you don't feel it anymore. But
Well, when
I
you
don't know,
look at the 150 years, like, they've had a winning season, I think it's like 10 to 15% of the time. So, like, yeah, like, we're pissed off fucking 85% of the time. So, yeah,
Exactly.
it's not good. Guys, I'm going to go into the Phillies like awards, and I'm going to, I don't want to set rules, but I'm going to say, let's not pick Bryce Harper or Zach Wheeler. Let's just not do it.
Shit.
I'll be in the other room, guys.
You know, and I think that hopefully there's some fun ones. I'm not sure that mine are, because I don't think mine are terribly fun. But I think the comeback player of the year to me, and I'll talk about this later, is Jose Alvarado. He showed me something in the spring that I didn't see at all last year. He was way more bad outings than good last year. And this year, I'm not saying it's going to be Brad Lidge, where it's going to be, 48 for 48, but I think there's going to be way more good than bads. So to me, I think we need him to be the comeback player of the year, guys.
Sure.
Like, I think there's other people we're hoping for that I think are really smart picks, but to me, it's Jose. I think that the person that's going to, this is the grown-up award. I think Alec Boehm's going to grow up this year. This dude's 28 years old. And I was like thinking, am I too hard on him? Did I do stupid shit at 28? Well, yeah, I got married the first time. So, that was stupid. It wasn't a smart thing.
That's worse than crying in the dugout.
Yeah, it's way worse. So, but I think that this guy maybe finally is going to like pout less and throw the bats less, and maybe realize that he can go down the tunnel and smash whatever the fuck he wants. Doing it on the field is the thing that's been the problem with him, and just visually seeing him, do that. And then, I think Marshawn is going to start to outshine JT. So I don't know what the name of that award is, but I think it's the new starting catcher. And I don't think JT gets signed because of how Marshawn plays this year. I think JT's washed, but we'll see. So that's mine.
Nice. I have 2 comeback players of the year. I did an offensive one. My offensive comeback player of the year is going to be Bryson Stott. I think he's going to have a really good season. I loved his approach during the spring training. He was, again, tough with 2 strikes, hitting the ball the other way, not over swinging. Yeah, I think maybe that elbow injury bothered him a lot more last year than he let on, and I think it affected his swing. So I expect a big bounce back. My comeback pitcher of the year, I mean, you guys shit on him, but I think it's Taijuan Walker. I think the guy, and if you fucking guys believe that, you can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, I was like, Chris is like, show us the hidden still. Like, let's see if it's empty, because
no, I believe it's. I agree with you. It's Alvarado. I think he could be the key to that bullpen. I did. I mean, he was unbelievable in spring training. I looked at it today. It was like 20 strikeouts in 27 innings, 3 walks, 3 hits, no runs. It's spring training. Don't want to get too worked up, but he was throwing strikes, throwing hard. He's mixed in a curveball now, which, I mean, throwing 102 and then dropping an 85-mile-an-hour curveball, it should be illegal.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a good curveball at that point. It's going to fuck the hitter up so much. But I also think, Romano, he looked good. I think he didn't give up any runs in spring training. He had a 0 ERA. Kirkring had a low ERA. So these are all guys for me. As far as our offensive player of the year for the Phillies, I think it's going to be Bohm. I agree with Chris. I think he's going to grow up. And the dude's an RBI machine. He puts the ball in play. He drives in runs. I like to see a little more power, maybe get back up into that 20 to 25 range. Would be nice. And as far as a pitcher, I think it's Christopher Sanchez. I think he's going to be the MVP, pitching MVP, if we want to say that, since I can't say Wheeler. But I think Sanchez is ready to take the next step and really move into the upper echelon of pitchers in the National League. I think this will be his year. He's throwing 97 plus with a nasty changeup, throwing strikes, throwing hard, throwing inside. He looks physically stronger than he did last year. Doesn't look as skinny and lanky. He looks a little more put together. I'm excited. I'm excited to see him throw.
Great.
Yeah, as far as like the comeback player of the year, I also like Dugan said. No, I actually did write down Walker, and I just think that he could have more wins, a higher win total than an ERA. And the only reason I think that is because I don't think he's going to get used a whole lot. But Rangers injury kind of worries me, because we saw what happened last year after the All-Star. He hit that wall, and then he was never the same. And I worry that that's going to be what Ranger is moving forward. Like, he'll give you a couple nice outings, and then he'll miss a couple. So I think Walker, I hate to say it, but we all know that he has a little bit more than what he's shown us. So I think it's potentially there, but not good, just better than shit. And I guess we'll accept that. Luzardo, he's primed to have a good year, right? Like, he looked terrible in fucking spring training a couple times, and everybody's down on him. So I think he's primed to have a decent year. And then as far as offensively, I had a healthy Harper, but a healthy Harper, like, does that even exist anymore? It's like a healthy Marchand. So if he stays healthy, he's going to put up Harper numbers. But I think a guy to watch is Kepler. So I think the two new guys, anything we get from him is going to be pleasant, because he's not Austin Hayes. So it'll be an improvement. And then I was looking shit up earlier today, and I realized, in my deep dive research, Juan Soto is younger than every single fucking member of the daycare. So we got to come up with a new name for the daycare, man. These guys are fucking getting old. They're driving their parents to work. They're getting served in dirty bars. So,
How about no nickname? Just stop with the childish shit. Like Mike said, DJ Iron Pig is out of here. So let's just fucking be men and win fucking baseball games. Stop.
I have another idea, and that's an awesome one. How about no fucking water unless you're hitting 280 or above? No fucking water. You cannot dump a fucking water on no one unless you're hitting 280. Period.
Right. Right. No.
Or you have a ERA below 2. So I think for comeback player, I picked 2 guys, and they're both bench guys, because I think the bench is going to be important this year. I picked Sosa and Clemens. I think Sosa had a really good year when he was half a year when he was starting, but then went to the bench and really didn't do anything much after that. And I think Clemens, when he came up, we started to see glimpses of him being what he is. He's a bench guy that can deliver in the clutch, right? And so that's, I think, why he made the team over Buddy. So those were my 2 comeback players of the year. I already talked about offense. I think they're gonna I think their approach is going to be better. I think they're going to try and manufacture some runs. I think if Turner gets his head out of his ass and gets on base, he'll steal a lot more bases. I think the same with Stott. I thought it was his wrist, but maybe it's his elbow last year, Dugan. I think
his elbow.
I think the Phillies are notorious, and we've been calling them out for the last couple of years for not really disclosing all the injuries or how impactful they are on the play. And so I think he was impacted more than we thought last year. So I think the offense, and we're going to hit homers. That's how this team is built. So if we manufacture some runs, we get on base, we do some stealing. Bohm does his thing where he hits that ball in the right center field gap and drives in a couple of runs. I think we'll be in good shape, but we got to do it consistently all year. And then pitching, I think if we don't have the best 1 through 4, it's damn close, top 2 or 3. The problem is when do we get tired of the scheduled loss at number 5? And when do we bring Painter up? Like I know they're trying to play that off of his injury and not get him injured again. But at some point, he's got to be able to come up and slot into that 5 role or wherever they put him, because I don't care what you say about Walker, he's just not good.
Yeah,
that's it.
Cool. All right, so we'll go into other stuff. But Greg, when I was talking about water, thought that I meant no drinking water. I tried that in Clearwater, unless it was passed through a brewery or distillery. I do not recommend this for everyone, but you cannot drink water for a week. It's not the best idea. I just kind of wanted to put that out there, another PSA. So, guys, we'll go through the divisions now and just say who will win, because, Rob, I'm curious who you think is going to win the East since the Phils aren't. I'm going to go Central in the NL. I think the Cubs have this. The West, I think the Dodgers win it easily. In the East, in the AL, I'm going with the Red Sox. In the Central, I'm going with Minnesota I think it's going to be incredibly close against Detroit. And then in the West, I'm going with the Mariners. That pitching staff, I think, gets them the crown this year.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
All
right. Go ahead. You got it.
So anyway, my shit is mostly chalk. I figure the Yankees are going to win the AL East.
Hold on, Rob. I don't know what chalk means. You're like in school with kids. I don't know what the fuck chalk means. Could you help us?
It just means that the ones who are expected, like the 1 seed beats the 16 seed in the NCAA. Okay. It's just chalk. It's as expected.
Is this East Falls or is this millennial, Gen Z, Gen Y talk? I don't know. I'm serious.
Don't know. If you guys know the origin, throw it in the chat, because
I don't know either.
I don't know. It's on Fleek, whatever it is. It's on
chalk.
Fleek.
I'm brick. It's brick.
I may have made it up too. I don't know. I'm just trying to get it started.
It's Skidibity Toilet or whatever that other one is.
It's the John.
There you go. This shit slaps, right? If you ever want to make your kid roll her eyes, tell her that whatever song she's listening to slaps. Yankees, just because that's what the Yankees do. But I think they'll end up having a fight on their hands with Boston. I think the Tigers in the Central and the AL, looking at their pitching staff, looking at their young core, they may rise up. Again, the Astros in the West, I was looking at the rest of the teams, and I just don't see anybody who can, until they're knocked off the top, I don't know that anyone's going to do it. We'll see about that. I looked at Texas, but they're not good. The Braves, I think, are going to win the East. I think they'll win by a couple games. I think something will happen with the Phils, and they'll be in it. But I think the Braves, if they're healthy. And then I got the Brewers in the NL Central. Again, chalk, Dodgers. I didn't really think too hard about this one. Mike and Chris, one is.
Go ahead.
So I already said Phil's in the East. I got the Brewers in the Central, the deferred Dodgers in the West. Yankees. I think the Guardians win the Central just because they always seem to win. I can't name 3 players on their team, but they always seem to be at the top of that division. And I have the Mariners overtaking the Astros in the West.
Who'd you say for the East?
Yankees. I think the Yankees win the
And
East.
Rob, you said Yankees too. I just don't see it,
did,
guys.
sadly.
I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't see it. Maybe because I hate New York, but
Yeah.
and maybe because like Soto left and Stanton's hurt, and the
Their
mustache.
pitching's not great, but
Yeah.
they seem to win. I don't know. I got a feeling. I don't think they're going back to the World Series, but I think they get in the playoffs.
Okay.
So I got AL East Red Sox. They made so many moves this year, and shout out to my boy Shoes. He's been a diehard Red Sox fan his entire life, and he suffered the last couple of years. So I want him to get an East win this
Fuck
year.
him. They won a few World Series in the last.
Yeah, and they
year.
beat us.
Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
I like
Lincoln said.
And I like shoes, but
AL Central Royals. I think they ride the coattails of Witt Jr., who I have in a couple other categories coming up here soon. And the AL West, the Rangers don't suck. They just were super hurt last year. And so if they stay healthy, it's kind of like the Braves situation from last year. I think the Rangers take the West. Are we doing wild cards? I did wild cards.
I mean,
Yankees,
it's your show. You
Yankees
can
and
do what you
Orioles.
want.
Yankees and Orioles for the wild card, and AL champ Red Sox. Then in the NL East, I got the Phillies in the East. I got the Cubs in the Central, and the West. Everybody is chalk here. So the Dodgers. It's my new term. I can't wait to use it in real life. And NL West, NL wild card, Diamondbacks and the Mets. NL champ Phillies. Phillies, Red Sox, World Series.
All right. So
I have my wild cards too. Since Mike did it, I'll throw mine in. So I have in the NL. I got the Braves, and then I'm picking 2 teams out of the West. I'm taking the Padres and the Diamondbacks to both make the wild card. No Mets. Fuck the Mets. They're not getting
Fuck
in
the
this
Mets.
year.
So I think pretty soon we're going to be like, oh, we're not going to do our wild card picks. We're just going to pick the one team that doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense. So in the AL, I have the Royals, the Astros, and the Orioles. No Red Sox. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Shoes. No Red Sox.
All good.
Guys, we'll kind of continue that. And Mike, thanks for leading it off. I also have the Sox versus the Phils in the World Series in a return of the 1915. And this time we pay a team back that beat us because the Yankees have us too. But I think in 1915 we're going to pay them back. So great uncle, bad load, like we're gonna get them back for you. It might be great. I'm not sure, but
Will be avenged.
we're going to get them.
Fucking right. So, one of the big things that everybody's been talking about all spring is who should lead off, and I think we need to put that to bed. I think Kyle Schwarber is the leadoff hitter. I don't think Trey Turner fits that role anymore, if he ever did. Looking back, like when he first came here in 23, he only batted leadoff 15 times for the Phillies. 253, 5 runs scored, no homers, 2 stolen bases, 19 Ks. Like it was a failed experiment. I think he may have done it. I don't know if Schwarber missed time or I don't know how it went down, but and then he didn't bat leadoff at all last year. So I think trying to plug him in there this year, it just seems like they're trying to fix something that's not broken. I understand that Schwarber has his flaws, his warts, but he gets on base. He hits home runs. The leadoff home run, you can't. There's something to be said. Ricky Henderson, all-time leader in that category, and Schwarber's like, I don't know if he's catching up to him, but he's been killing it as a leadoff guy for us. I don't understand why we need to fuck with that part of the lineup. If anything, I think last year we were talking about moving Trey down, and we talked about that in 2023 as well. Trey's just not produced. I think this year we're going to see who Trey Turner really is. And I think people are going to be disappointed. I think we're going to see his decline take a little sharp turn down. I don't know why. I just have that gut feeling that Trey Turner is going to kind of we're going to see him kind of fall apart this year. Not fall apart. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a like Dombrowski was being asked about, like, are they going to move him from shortstop? They're talking about like he's still one of the fastest guys, and he has these quick twitch muscles. I don't know what the fuck that is. So again, with Chalk, I don't know what he's talking about. Quick twitch muscle. Like,
Correct.
I don't know. Like, I think he's going to have more errors than home runs. I believe that.
Hey, quick fact check, Rob. Ricky Henderson has 81 leadoff home runs. Kyle Schwarber has 46.
Yeah, but where is Schwarber in terms of like top 10? Or is he even close to it?
7.
All right, there you go.
So you got Ricky Henderson at 81, George Springer at 60, Alfonso Soriano at 54, Craig Biggio at 53, Mookie Betts at 52, Ian Kinsler at 48, and Schwarber at 46. He's 7th.
It's funny that Springer's up there because he fucking stinks now.
Yeah.
Dude is
with the Astros.
terrible.
Yeah, he was great with the Astros.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
we would have welcomed him, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
6 years ago, we would have been like, get him out here.
I kind of like the Topper idea of the leadoff spot, depending on facing a righty or lefty starter. If you have a lefty starter, you bat Turner lead off. A right-handed starter, you have Schwarber lead off. I kind of like that idea. And, I know, we shit on Turner a lot, but he was in the top 5 in batting last year at the end of the season. He had 295, 20-something home runs. I don't think we're getting the 5 years ago Trey Turner, the 338 hitter Turner. But if he can hit around 300, I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, 295 last year, and both seasons here with the Phillies, he's hit over 25 or over 20 home runs. He had 26, I think, his first year. And then last year, he missed some time with injury. I still think he ended up at 22 or 23. So I mean, I know his defense is what it is, and he I think he's a liability at shortstop. Quick twitch or whatever he has. I still don't think he is great, but I think offensively, I think he could be a real factor for the Phillies this year. And if his legs are healthy, I really think he could be as a base stealer. I think that's the one aspect of his game that we really missed last year with the hamstring injury. Then they babied the shit out of him when he came back, and they didn't have him run it at all. And I think that could be a difference this year. But I like the mix and match based on who you're starting. But the one thing I hate is when Turner leads off, they want to bat Harper second. To me, Harper's a 3 hitter, and that should be the first fucking name you write in the lineup every night. 3 spot Harper. It should be no question. Righty, lefty, someone throwing underhand out there. He should be your 3 hitter. It doesn't matter. I don't like him batting second. But I do like the mix and match.
Guys, what if Stott starts hitting 320 or 330 like we think he possibly could? Like, is he going to force the hands and make him move him up the lineup and either move Turner down or move Schwarber down? Because we're all saying he's going to have a great year, right? So, like, will that force it, or will this, big-eared dope just be like, yeah, I'm cool with hitting a 320, 330 guy 7th or 8th or whatever they're going to do?
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's benefits of if he's hitting that well down the lineup too, especially if Schwarber's leading off. Now they're going to be on base when Schwarber's coming up.
Yeah.
And he's still young. I don't know if he's hitting well in the 7 hole. I'm just going to leave him here. Rather move him up and put pressure on him to now go outside of his hitting approach and say, oh well, now I'm a 2 hitter, so I got to start hitting the ball the other way and doing other things that maybe he isn't doing to get to a 320, 330 hitter. I think there's arguments both ways. I mean, hopefully, ideally, he has that type of year, and then maybe next year the lineup resolves around, a guy like Stott.
Now, Rob, if Schwarber's hitting 150 on May 1st, are you going to turn on it and, write the F word on the page?
No, I'm definitely going to write the F word, but I'm not going to change what I think because I get like even with the alternating lefty righty, depending on who's pitching, like I just think that analytics is is too prevalent, and I think Schwarber just has a feel for the moment leading off a game more so than I don't know that Turner can switch back to that mentality and then making them do it game after, like switching back and forth. If he's batting 150 May 1st and, you know, or June 1st even, that's kind of who he is.
You're
He
fine
might be
with that.
back-
You're not going to snap out.
I'm going to snap out no matter what happens, Chris. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And
No,
it won't even be baseball related. It'll probably be something stupid about
Well, yeah.
like somebody, whoever's driving in front of me.
Or at the bus stop or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because I lost my license. Like, whatever.
I had a snap out down Clearwater, and I hope Renee's watching because she'll like maybe chime in and type. So I wasn't able to get to one of the games at 11 a.m., which is when they open, when the bar opens, and I like lost my cool. I like completely lost my cool. I went to the hotel bar at the time. Ubers were having some problems. I loaded up on like 5 or 6 beers within those 5 minutes when the Uber came, and I took 2 roadies in the Uber. It wasn't a nice thing to do, and I said some very mean words. Then I said, "I'm fucking selling the 17th. I'm not going. Fuck this shit." So it was. I think it was the night I lost my shoes.
You lost your shoes?
Yeah. That happens. Like, I don't know. Apparently, I was walking around barefoot in Clearwater Beach. There was dudes singing Kenny Chesney songs, which, Mike, you would love because I knew it was a Kenny Chesney song.
There
I
you
didn't really know, but I knew it was a country song. And I'm like, yeah, I love Kenny Chesney.
Every country song is Kenny Chesney.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
not true.
Guys, I'm going to talk about the bullpen's weaknesses and strengths. So spring doesn't mean anything, right? But it does. It means something for players that are making the team or players that are like looking to like, you know, try new pitches and maybe they turn over a new leaf. So here's the deal. Alvarado Romano, is that how we say it? Romano.
Romano.
Yeah,
That's
Romano.
what T-Mac says.
Romano and Kerkering, 21 innings pitched, 10 hits, 5 walks, 34 strikeouts, a 0.43, and a 0.71. There's your strengths. Where's the weaknesses? Everyone else. And I'm including Strom. I know he had a 184 last year. I just don't trust this guy. I don't trust a dude that like has a fingernail issue, like pulling up a zipper on his like daughter's luggage. I don't know. I just don't. And I feel like when you look at Strom's numbers in the playoffs, which is like my problem with Hoffman too, because I felt like they were very similar. Great regular seasons, completely shit the bed in the postseason. Joe Ross, I don't know. Like Chris and I, like we talked about this last time. Like, who's Joe Ross? Well, Joe Ross is Joe Ross, right? You know what you're getting. Like, this dude isn't, he's not a short reliever. He's like when you're getting your ass kicked. Well, then what the hell's Carlos Hernandez? He's another guy when you're getting your ass kicked. Well, who's Jose Ruiz? He's another guy when you're getting your ass kicked. So while I think here's the major problem. It's a close game. We get Kerkering comes in. We get Alvarado in the 8th. And then we get Romano in the 9th. And it happens 2 nights in a row where we need both of these dudes. Well, what about that 3rd night? What happens? We probably lose the close game more often than not because I think that, and I'm going to go outside of pitching, why the fuck is Johan Rojas on this team? If Brandon Marsh is playing every day, that's what they said. What's the purpose of Rojas on this team? Kepler's great defensively. Marsh is good defensively. And Castellanos is decent, and they're not taking him out. What is the fucking purpose of Rojas? Anybody?
Is he pinch running?
He gets picked off so much. I don't know if I'd have him running. I mean, I would think he's a late inning guy for Marsh. I mean, like you said, I think Marsh is a Gold Glove left fielder and an center fielder.
Yeah.
Like I think if you put Marsh in left, he plays Gold Glove. But I think you're going to get that out of Kepler. So I think Rojas is the guy late in the game you can bring in and play plus defense. I think he should be starting. In my opinion,
Rojas should.
I
Yeah.
think Rojas should be the starting center fielder.
So either start him or trade him. So where I was going with this is like, I think that
Who's the
he's
depth
going.
though? That's the problem. They don't have any depth in the outfield. I mean, you're not going to bring up Crawford yet. You're not going to make that move this early. I mean, Buddy Kennedy, they tried him out there. Cody Clemens, I guess, could clot around out there a little bit. I mean, I think right now Sosa might be the guy that might get some starts in left field if they.
I agree.
And that's ridiculous to me. That is fucking ridiculous that a major league club is still doing this shit where they're converting guys from infielders to outfielders. Draft some fucking quality outfielders. Like that's one of my problems with the Phillies is that they don't have that depth that they need in the outfield, and it wasn't really addressed this offseason.
Because you know what, I want one of these guys to be traded. I think Weston Wilson probably fits in here as a right-handed power bat or a threat and can play multiple positions because that's important. Does Clemens deserve to be here? So if you had the choice, would you guys rather have Clemens on the bench or Rojas? Because it's going to come down to that, I think.
Can you pick C? None of the above?
I think Clemens is getting traded when Weston Wilson's back. He's out of options. So if you try and send him down, I think he's getting picked up. So I think your only option is going to be to trade Clemens. He's not going to go through waivers. Somebody's going to grab him. And I think Wilson as a right-handed bat, you need that off the bench.
Yeah.
You need that off the bench.
I agree with the right-handed bat for sure. We've been talking about that for probably 2 years too. But do you get more for a Rojas who's on his way up, or do you get more for Cody Clemens who's kind of like that perennial bench guy in the trade?
It's tough to say because I don't know if Clemens is a bench guy on 90% of the teams.
Hey, Christ, he could be a starter on the White Sox.
Well, yeah. I mean, we could be the infield here.
I mean, Maton and what's his name? Megadeth just both made the opening day roster for the White Sox.
Yep.
I was looking for him today too. Hey, where the fuck did this guy go?
Yeah.
What a great thing to have is like a team like that. You can tell like you played for the majors and you're just like, how was your team? We lost 140.
Right? I played 125 of them though.
Yeah.
So I contributed
22 and 140. That's like a suicide watch for me.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I just have no confidence in Rojas. That's what it is. I just think he's one of those guys who just can't hit major league pitching. Even though we saw a little bit of it, I think something's not
240
clicking.
in the 9-hole, and your other
Can he
8 guys
hit 240
are
though?
hit. What did he hit last year? I think he was around 240 last year.
He just swings.
I think his defense is a plus, and with a pitching staff like the Phillies have, I want guys that make plays. Yeah, if we lose a game because the ball's 3 inches out of Marsh's reach, and I know Rojas would have been standing there waiting to catch it, that's going to frustrate the hell out of me. But I just don't think Marsh is an everyday player, and the Phillies are putting a lot in that basket, and I just don't see it.
Guys, going into the season before we go to Mike's a Dumbass, who's going to be your whipping boy? Who are you looking for? Who do you think it's going to be for you? Because I've kind of, shown my cards, and I think mine's Rojas. I'm just tired of his like stupid baseball shit.
I think for me, it's going to be Turner. I think every time Turner makes a mistake, I'm going to say he's overpaid and we should trade him.
Mine is Marsh. Cool beard, mid player. Whatever. Yeah. Yeah,
go bark at a camera somewhere else in California, dude.
Yeah. So I'm tired of hearing the promise. Like, it was a top pick. He's got all this promise. Start fucking hitting then, dude. Come on.
Mike, do you have someone you were kind of hoping?
Well, I was thinking of what Rob said about Austin Hayes, and I just hope that Kepler doesn't turn into that. But if he does, I might make him my whipping boy.
That's a good point.
That's fair.
Cool, man. Hey, I got a good one for you guys today. I think we haven't delved into Florida for a while, so I went back to Florida.
This better not be about me.
Some guy lost his
No,
shoes.
it might be about you. It's so funny you say that. So, a gentleman we'll call Sir Poops a lot was arrested for pooping on a dead possum in a street in Clearwater during rush hour.
He wasn't wearing a
So-
DPF shirt, was he?
So it's funny. I wrote down here, Chris, you have anything you want to cop to? So
He did. He ducked out. He's running from the accusation.
Yeah, I was like not sure. Yeah, I had to get a beer, but I like once I heard it might be about me, Mike. I was like, all right, maybe I've never heard of Drunk Bills fans.
So the beginning was we're calling this guy Sir Poops a lot because he was arrested for pooping on a dead possum in the streets of Clearwater at rush hour. So I wanted to know if you had anything to cop to.
Could I know the time frame?
Yeah, it was last week.
I was in Clearwater Beach.
There you go. Sir Poops a lot was observed with his pants down and rear end up and exposed. So he was charged with a misdemeanor for exposure of sexual organs and booked into Pinellas County Jail, where he denied the accusations, and the police had to analyze the fecal matter after Sir Poops a lot denied the event and confirmed it was his. When he was arraigned and put into Pinellas County Jail, he could not make his $150 bond. So more to come on Sir Poops a lot, but currently he resides in Pinellas County Jail. That's your dumbass of the week.
If I would have known it was 150, I would have bailed him out down there. So I wish he would have, sent us a DM or something.
Well, at least he tried to poop on a dead possum, because pooping on a living possum is almost impossible.
That sounds like it's from experience.
I lived in
Good
Florida
job.
for a while. That's all I'm saying.
Rob, if we go to Clearwater, are you allowed in Florida?
I'm allowed in Florida. Yeah, there's some towns up north I might not be able to. I might have to drive straight through. But South Florida, Western Florida, yeah, I haven't ruined anything over there yet.
We could put a prosthetic on you and they won't know, right?
Seriously, I shave and I put on like a rubber hand. We'll be all set.
Just on the
We'll be all
stud,
set.
though, not
I'll
a
just
fucking
drive
full arm.
by, stub on the wheel.
That's a country song.
That was a really good "Oh Dumbass," I have to say. It gives me something to aspire to. So anyway, we were talking earlier about, we've mentioned Crawford, we've mentioned Painter, and we're trying to figure out okay, when are we going to see these guys finally? Because we've been hearing so much about them for so long, or at least it feels like it's been a really long time. I tasked myself with coming up with this. When are we going to see these guys? And honestly, I truly came up with no solid answers. I think it all depends on health. I think if everyone's healthy, we're not going to see any of these guys until after the All-Star break. I think Painter would be the most likely before the All-Star break. And again, Ranger being hurt, Taiwan being garbage, he may be sped up a little bit, and he may be ready for that too. From what I understand, in spring training, the dude was throwing seeds and then he went down for a little extra work. So, I mean, I think we're all looking forward to seeing what he's got and how he bounces back from his surgery and his recovery and all that. Aiden Miller is interesting, man. I think he's at least going to be the September call up in that group. And I think they'll leave him up here for a little bit. I don't think that he's just going to come up when somebody's hurt and then get sent down. But I also don't think that if everybody's healthy, he'll come up before that. Crawford is still really young. And I think as long as Rojas is on this roster, you might not bring Crawford up right away. He might be another guy who's September. But I think we will see Crawford at some point this year. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of them.
I wonder if there's other guys and, not only more of the field players, is there a reliever that's just down there that we don't know about, because other teams, this is not illegal. You can bring guys up and they can do well.
Exactly.
I check the books, like they don't have to be like, they can all of a sudden just be really good or have a good half a season. You wonder if like someone like Rincones, like, does this dude come up and like he's like the Latin Matt Stairs and just hits fucking bombs off a righty that comes in? I don't know. Like, I would love something like that. I think we missed that. I think Tyler Phillips was a cool story for 14 innings when he had the scoreless streak, and then he got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And that's why he got DFA'd, because he is what he is. I did not see anything that like stood out to me as far as a reliever that I saw pitching that I thought, oh, like maybe this guy could. Are they giving up on Abel? Like Thompson was like, oh, I really like what I saw out of this guy. Thompson's full of shit.
Yeah.
And I get it's like the PC or PR thing to do. Walker had a really good spring. Walker had a terrible spring. Luzardo had a terrible spring. And Abel, like, they sent him down pretty quickly. Like, and he's like, oh, I still got my eye on him. He's back on the radar. I don't give a fuck what his radar is, honestly.
Yeah.
His radar don't mean shit.
Company talking line. You got to, talk those guys up, but
Is it McGarity too? Who's the other guy?
Yeah, but he didn't. I didn't see this dude.
So,
is he hurt?
I saw him live last year, and Chris, you and I, Dugan for sure could hit him. Everything was flat. He throws hard, like 95, 96, but everything is. There's no movement. His curveball is. So I don't know if they've given up on that dude or what, because I didn't see him in the spring either, but he didn't look good last year at the Iron Picks, put it that way. The other thing is about Topper, he's playing marketing. He's playing marketing guy on the headset with T-Mac and those guys. When he's like, oh, Walker, he's throwing 94 miles an hour. He's a great movement, that splitter, whatever. He's trying to get that dude traded somewhere. Yeah. Same with the other guys you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna see Painter probably till after the All-Star break, but I do think that's when he'll be up, and I think you might see the Phillies go to a 6-man at that point, as long as the other 5 are healthy, and try and conserve some innings for Walker Walker, Jesus Christ, Wheeler and Nola. Down the stretch, because but I think the key for the Phillies, we talked about the bullpen earlier. I think it's the starters going deeper into games, shorten the game. Because I agree, after those 3 big guys in the bullpen, there's a hell of a lot of question marks, and you get those games where Topper's like, this guy's not available, this guy's not available, this guy's not available. Well, who the fuck is available? Yeah. If your starter's only giving you 5, you need 4 availables. And it could be a mix and match. I'm a little more bullish on Strahm than you are. I like Strahm. But I think the biggest problem the Phillies ran into last year with both Strahm and Hoffman was whenever there was a big situation, they went to one of those two.
Yeah.
And they pitched a shit ton of games in the regular season. And I think they were gone. They were cooked by the playoffs. And they just didn't have it, So I think
why is that a thing now, though, Chris? Like, why is that? Like, what is that? Like, Gene Garber pitched 100 games.
All these fucking
Mike
guys
Marshall,
are baby. They're all baby.
Unfucking believable.
They're all baby. I mean, think about all those Braves pitchers and fucking Rockin' Leo Mazzoni. Those guys threw every fucking day. They threw every day, whether they were, starting or not.
Colby, even the relievers. Like,
it's the way these guys train anymore. They don't train for that. They punish their bodies and they train for instant fucking success, but not like long term. Like they're not stretched out.
Well, they all come in and they throw as hard as they can.
They're not able to last the whole season.
You come in and throw as hard as you can for one inning. There's no pitching anymore. There's no take something off the ball. It's gas. Hard sliders, hard sinkers, hard fastballs, hard cutters.
Spin rate.
Yeah, it's all hard.
Read anything. I know we're talking about relievers, but read anything about Maddox. He saved those bullpen guys so many times because he was super smart. And 77 pitches for a complete game shutout is ridiculous. No one will ever do that now.
Yeah.
like because he was pitching, not throwing. He couldn't break a pane of glass, that guy, but nobody could hit him except Tony Gwynn.
Yeah.
That fucking Tony Gwynn.
And back then, like a manager came out and like there was some pitchers, and of course you had some seniority. Like they tell the manager, get the fuck back in the dugout.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I'm done.
Yeah.
You don't ask me when I'm done. I'll let you know.
No,
That
you
shit
got
don't
guys.
happen
I mean,
anymore.
like a Blake Snell and a Corbin Burns. They're begging out of the game in the 5th inning. You know.
So LA on the radio the other day, guys, he said the Cy Young Award winner should have to average over 6.5 innings per start.
I
There
agree.
shouldn't be any 5 fucking innings, like this dude averaged 5 and I think it was a third innings and he won the Cy Young. Like that
Yeah.
just doesn't add up.
I heard something the other day too, where it was like Wheeler. He pitched like the equivalent of like 4 more starts than the guy who won the Cy Young, because that guy was only going, like you said, like a 5 in the third. And
Yeah.
Wheeler was averaging like 7, innings of start. So when you add up those starts, like that was like 4 more starts that that Wheeler made, and it's crazy. It's crazy the way pitching is so fucking babied anymore.
I think
you know?
I think the mentality of pitchers has changed.
Yeah,
That's it,
Yes.
Jason. Agreed.
Good job, Jason.
yeah, yeah.
And I guess we're going to get a special announcement here from Steve. Steve is going to be at the games. He will be in row RR. And get yourself a Rogers RR bar burger while you're down there.
That's
All
right.
right.
On the way.
110, and he has some DPF stickers. So, Steve, that's so awesome that you brought some. If you're at the game tomorrow, I know Max is, and I know there's a few other people we saw that are going to be down there. See Steve. Steve's very quiet. He doesn't like to talk a lot. Wink, wink.
Doesn't like to drink. He doesn't
Yeah.
like beer. He doesn't like.
He's probably not going to go to a brewery or so, like before the game and after the game. So if you need
Or a
any tips,
distillery or a winery or a
yeah,
cidery.
Steve already has them lined up. Mike, why don't you go to our trivia, because I guess we're coming up
Yeah.
on the hour.
Yeah. I got a couple, and you know how I do it. It's timing centric, so it's all about opening day stuff. So,
Cool.
first one I have here is who hit the first opening day home run for the Phillies all time?
What, in 1800s? We're saying, Mike, possibly, or 1900s?
I'll give you a hint. It's a lot closer to today than you think.
Wow.
Now, is this because the Phillies didn't play on opening day and they, like somebody else, or is it just
So this
their
is
opening
like
day?
every opening day. I looked it up. I confirmed it with 3 different sites. So
Whitey.
no.
A lot closer.
Johnny Callison.
No.
Doug Glanville.
No. But
Inside
in
the Parker is possible.
1987,
Phil
it's the first
Bradley?
time a Philly
Gary
hit a home
Reedus?
run on opening day. Nope.
87.
And not Phil Bradley? That was, it was 88. Yeah. Like Tom Herr.
Was
Who
Von
was there?
Hayes still around in 1987?
I don't know, but it's not
Mike
him.
Schmidt?
Yes, sir. Mike
Oh,
Schmidt
my
hit the
God.
first opening day home run in
Wow.
1987. If you can
That's
believe that.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It took him 104 fucking years to do it.
Extra credit if you know the team they played.
The Reds. Ah, this is-
Pirates.
Fuck the Mets.
The Cubs.
Cubs. Who has the most opening day home runs all time with 8? And I'll give you a hint. There's 3 players tied at 8, and they're none of them are Phillies.
Junior. Ken Griffey Jr.
That's one of them.
Barry Bonds.
No, he's at 6.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is at 7.
Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson is not between 6, 7, or 8.
Hank Aaron.
Negative. There is a Frank though.
Thomas.
Frank Robinson.
Frank Robinson.
Yeah.
And the last one is a guy we've talked about maybe wanting on our team before.
Wanting him on our team?
Mm-hmm.
Trout.
No.
Scott Kingery?
Yes. How'd you know?
Bellinger.
Adam Dunn.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through. 7 is Eddie Matthews, Willie Mays, and Babe Ruth. 6 is Barry Bonds, Gary Carter, Richie Hebner, Brooks Robinson, Scott Rowland, Dave Winfield, and Carl Yastrzemski.
Fuck Scott Rowland.
Fuck Scott Rowland. He beat me to it. Absolutely.
I did one more. I did a pitching one. So who has pitched a no-hitter on opening day? Give you a hint. It's only been done one time in the history of baseball.
Opening day no hitter.
I know that Johnny Vandermeer, had 2 in a row, but it wasn't opening day. Okay.
I would say Randy Johnson, but I don't think it's him.
Way earlier than Randy Johnson.
Walter Johnson.
Bob
Like-
Gibson.
Koufax.
Close. It's Bob, but not Gibson.
Fucking Bob Feller.
Yes, 1940, April 16th to be exact, against the White Sox. Only time it's been done in the history of baseball.
Guys, I have one of
Jesus.
those calendars each day that like tells a trivia or something. Bob Feller, I think, had 238 walks one season. Really, like he was Nuke Lelouch. He had 238 strikeouts. I was like, no fucking way. This calendar's kind of full of shit, and I didn't fact check it, but we'll do that after. and
But
let
another guy, he
everyone know.
probably threw a ton of innings, right?
Oh,
Yeah, the
those
4-man
guys all threw
rotation and
300 or 400 innings. Yeah.
Exactly.
pitch both ends of a doubleheader.
Exactly.
I like that one that pops up for Nolan Ryan every once in a while. It goes something like Nolan Ryan until he was 45 years old pitched 5,000 innings or something like that, and then pitched whatever many innings, and then after 45 he pitched 5,000. So it's a cautionary tale for young pitchers.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
funniest.
If you don't want to pitch after you're 45.
Tasha,
So-
it was nice seeing you down there. So I wanted to bring Tasha up. And you know what? Another guy that's been Michael all day. So thanks so much for commenting. We see all your comments. You're always on our page. So Michael, thank you so much.
Very cool. Very
Let's
cool.
go around the horn, guys. And let's just, whatever you want to say to close the show out.
I want to go last, if that's all right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start off. I'll just say we didn't quite get to touch on it today, but I think Topper is on the hot seat. I think he has to be. I don't think he gets fired during the season, but I think the playoff results are what's going to determine if he's back. I think anything short of a World Series, like making it a World Series appearance, is a disappointment just because of. I think that this team is on a short fuse. I think their lifespan is gonna quickly erode. And I think if Topper doesn't get it done this year, I think they're going to look to take this core minus a few. I think a lot of things will change, but I think they'll try to get someone else in here, another voice.
Yeah, I mean, I started before we even came on the air. I'm just excited for opening day. I'm excited that baseball's back. I'm excited that the Phillies are back. I'm looking forward to talking all season with you guys, with the ups and the downs, interacting on the page, hopefully getting to meet some people down at the ball games and share the DPF love. But I'm really looking for the Phillies. It's fun having a good baseball team, boys. And I'm excited that we are one of the good ones. And we're going to rip them. We are going to fucking rip them. But we're going to praise them at when they deserve it, and rip them when they piss us off, which will probably be at about 4:35 tomorrow. We'll be pissed off once or twice, but I love it. It's baseball season. It's the best time of the fucking year, and I'm super excited for it.
you.
Yeah. So, opening day or the night before, it's like when you're a kid and you believed in Santa, right? Like, it's that same feeling to me. It's the sport
Yeah,
that
what's
I
he?
love
Is he
the
ruining it for
most.
everybody?
The sport
Go
that
shit on a dead possum, Chris.
that was not me. And
Too late.
it's that special day where I cannot wait for tomorrow. I like feel bad about working because how can you, or how can I? And I'm sure you guys feel the same. I love putting up the bunting, as you can see in the background, in the garage, and I put it outside. It's such a special day, that there's some things that you do all the time. The bunting goes up, and you may do this, or you may watch the game with this person. So I love that. I can't wait until next week. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about with that. So Fandemic Crew, who are friends of ours, saw a lot of them down in Clearwater. They're going to be in K-Lot. They have their Fandemic brew. They're going to be giving some out, or giving some samples out. So make sure that not only you try it, but you're going to love it. So buy it. That's the other thing is, we love supporting other groups within the Phillies and, charities. So I look forward to more of that going on this season. We'll be at the home opener, where we don't know whenever the gates open. So you don't have to ask that question. Whenever the tailgates open, that's when, we'll be there. So the other thing is, I'm really loving this Ring the Bell, Chris. What do you think of this?
Oh, it's good stuff, man. I got the Puddler's Row going now.
Okay. I thought I saw the
I
Ring the
did.
Bell
Oh,
one.
I've moved on, man. I'm on my next beer, but
You're dabbling in different things. Okay.
but no, I do. I love it. I love
All
it.
made by Concha Hawkins. So we appreciate Glenn and Andrew inviting us to the What's on Tap, and to Andrew coming to the garage. So that's been pretty cool. Looking forward to doing more things with them. I'm excited for the season. And, I want to, we didn't get to do like our other leaders, but I did some deep dives, and I wanted to bring something up. So I went on to Reddit. You guys are going to love this one, I think. I went on to Reddit, and I was just kind of like looking through the Mickey Moniak draft and like who was drafted after him, and, who the Phillies could have got. So I find this profile on Reddit. It was called PBDOOGS, PB Dukes. And I'm guessing it was Polar Bear Dukes, because he was like second round. The Phillies should have taken Pete Alonso. 2016 on Reddit. You know who this was. So I just thought that was interesting. The internet doesn't erase. So.
That's your boy. That's your boy. You would have had him in the red and white pinstripes, man. That's your guy.
We probably wouldn't have hated him as much. Just saying.
Oh.
So I'm thinking maybe I should have gone first, but I'm gonna bring down to kind of topping off Chris's charity appeal. We love to support charities, and especially when there's a personal message. And I know a lot of you have heard my story, but I have a little bit of a different spin. After watching the SNL 50-year anniversary, I'm going to do a little Scared Straight. So I'm now a surgery in August and 6 months of chemo. I'm down to my last chemo treatment in 2 weeks. It sucked, guys. It was fucking horrible. I can't feel my feet. I can't feel my fingers. The weeks that I do my treatment, it's really hard to get out of bed. The weekend after, the fatigue is just super bad. And I've been thinking lately that I got my colonoscopy when I was 51. What if I actually got it at 45? So I'll just dramatic pause there. My brother, since I was diagnosed, My brothers are supposed to go in and get theirs because they're at a higher risk. One of my brothers went already. He had a small polyp. They took it out. He's A-okay. He gets check up in 5 years. What if I did that when I was 45? Maybe I don't have to go through this crap. Maybe I would. You never know. But that's 6 years that I didn't get this really, really easy test because they put you to sleep. They give you a little propofol. You go to bed and you wake up and you're done. The prep is way easier now. It's just Miralax and Dulcolax, and it's not that crap that your dad and your grandfather had to drink, out of that big gallon jug. So guys, we love everybody in our community. I would love to try and just save one person from going through this stuff. It's really hard. So get your colonoscopy when you're 45. It might just be a little polyp, might be nothing. You come back in 5 years, you do it again, you're good to go. So that's my PSA for Colorectal Cancer Alliance. We have a final push here over the next couple of weeks. When I get my results back, hopefully I ring the bell and we send, we have a check to present to the Colorectal Cancer Alliance. Currently sitting around $2,300. Is that what I remember, Chris?
So it's probably closer to, well, I know that you did some things for them, right? But right, is that not true?
Yeah, it's like more like 3,000 if you add that. Yeah.
Okay.
So last final push, our Colorectal Cancer Alliance hoodie and T-shirt go in. 100% of the proceeds go to CCA, and we'd love to give them, a nice little chunk of change to make sure that they're passing on the same kind of message that I'm passing on. They give their money 100. Actually, it's like 98%. They have 2% for administrative fees. To where they pay their people, but that all that money goes to two places: awareness and research. So just go get your colonoscopy, guys, and tell me your story. We'll bring it up on one of these, or we'll put it on the page, that kind of thing. So I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you letting me get on my soapbox. Yep.
Keep fighting, Mike.
Fuck cancer, fuck the Mets, and Phil's in the World Series in 25, boys.
Yeah,
See you
baby.
Wall Street. We're going to be weekly now, so we are going to be weekly now. We hope to have you in your living rooms, mom's basements, every week. So thanks, guys. Great show, and I'll talk to everyone soon. Thank you.
Fuck the Mets.
Fuck the Mets.
Fuck cancer.
Fuck chalk.
Fuck cancer.
Fuck chalk.